there's other information that could be given to you. Find the equation of hyperbola from given information. For example, if the two vertices and the eccentricity are known, so I'm going to make my units 2 for each one, so this will actually be 8 here. So these are my 0, 8, and 0, minus 8. And because the vertices are on a vertical line, our hyperbola kind of has this shape to it. So we know, and we know the center is 0, 0 because it's halfway between the two vertices. So the equation is going to be negative x squared plus y squared. That's what happens. That's what you do when it's an up-down hyperbola. And since 8 is sort of the up-down, if you were to make that box, I'm going to put 8 squared underneath the y squared. But we don't know what the left right of the box are, so that we can put it underneath, square that, and put it underneath the x squared. This minus got lost. Well, that's where the eccentricity comes in. Eccentricity is c over a. So if that's 5 over 4, and if I know a is 8, then c over 8 equals 5 over 4. 4c equals 40. C equals 10. Now that I know c and I know a, I can use the fact that c squared equals a squared plus b squared, or 10 squared equals 8 squared plus b squared, or 100 equals 64 plus b squared, or 36 equals b squared, which is the answer for that one. In this situation, we have the foci 0, 10, 0, minus 10. And the fact that the foci are up here and down here means the hyperbola kind of goes like this. So again, it's minus x squared. The center is at 0, 0 because it's halfway between the two foci, plus y squared equals 1. But unlike the last example, we don't know a or b, because all we have is eccentricity. So the way we deal with this is c is known. So E equals c over a. So 5/3 is 10 over a, or 5a equals 30, or a equals 6. A squared is 36. A always goes underneath the one that's positive. It's also, notice that it's sort of up down. So that's 0, 6. And now once I have a and b, I can get c by doing c squared equals a squared plus b squared, and b squared I should say, ends up equaling 64. It goes in this spot. Here's a question where the given information are the two vertices. And some random other point that it goes through. Now just based on the two vertices, we know the center 0, 0 is halfway between. So now we have x squared is going to be minus x squared plus y squared equals 1. And I know the vertices are 7, so I already have this, the 49, 7 squared goes underneath the y squared. It's up, down. It also, the a squared always goes underneath the one that's positive. But I don't know what b squared is. So the way I get that is just take the known point, which is 1, 9, and plug it in for x and y. So minus 1 squared over b squared plus 81 over 49 equals 1. I like to multiply everything through by b squared and get minus 1. How about by 49b squared? So I get minus 49 plus 81b squared equals 49b squared. Add the 49 to both sides. Subtract the 49b squared from both sides. Get 32b equals 49, 32b squared. So b squared is 49 over 32. And I'll just put that right under there. Leave it like that. If you really want, you can bring the 32 up. But you don't have to. In this question, we're given the two asymptotes are y equals 2x and y equals negative 2x. We need both asymptotes because they intersect at the center, which in this case is 0, 0. Now, so at this point, we don't know a lot. We don't even know which branches, whether to put a plus before the x or a minus before the x. That's where this other point comes in. 1 comma square root of 3. Well, this point on the asymptote is at 1 comma 2 because it's y equals 2x. Square root of 3 is a little bit less than 2. So underneath it, here is 1 comma square root of 3. And that means my branches go this way. It means I have a plus here and a minus here. I could even call this a squared and b squared now just to get a feel. Now, from the center to the vertex officially is a. And then if I go from the vertex sort of upward till I hit the asymptote, that's officially b. So for this hyperbola, the slope of the asymptote is going to be b over a. If the hyperbola was the up and down one, it would be a over b, so be careful about that. In this case, we know that 2 is the slope of the asymptote, so 2 is b over a. Now, a good thing to do here is to square both sides and then multiply both sides by a squared. The reason that's a good thing to do is because then I can replace this b squared with 4a squared. So now I just have x, y, and a. Finally, I can take this point, this 1 comma square root of 3, and plug it in for x and for y. So I get 1 over a squared minus, when you square a radical 3, you get 3. So 3 over 4a squared equals 1. Multiply both sides by 4a squared. Get 4 minus 3 equals 4a squared, or 1 equals 4a squared, or a squared equals 1/4. And while I'm at it, b squared is equal to 4a squared, so b squared equals 1. And I can go ahead and replace this with a 1 and this with a 1/4. Or if you really like, you could bring this 4 up to make it 4x, either way.